Hi everyone. Thursday afternoon, almost afternoon, yoga class. Welcome. Get your mat set up on the floor. Have your water close by. You can see, if you can see my mat, I have my block nearby. So if you don't have something like a block to use, maybe pull a chair closer if we do some balance poses. My practice plan today is to incorporate half moon, which is a balance pose supported by a block in some cases. And if you don't have a block, then if you have a chair that you can bring closer, and then you can use the seat of the chair for some support. So I'll repeat that in a couple of seconds to see if others are joining us. Beautiful day outside. I almost contemplated doing my yoga class on my deck, and then I heard one of the neighbors fire up their lawnmower. So yeah, decided not to. So as always, you're going to take your class at your pace, your practice at your pace, incorporating moves or challenges as you see fit. Always knowing that what we do on one side, we will do the same move on the other side, but you're going to choose the intensity because we're not always even or equal side to side. So you adjust there too. Okay, I'm just checking my time. And I think it's time to get started. So again, you're going to have a yoga block. And if you don't have a block, just pull a chair close by if you can, so that you can maybe use the seat of the chair for support if you need it. Okay, so let's go lay down and start in Shavasana. We're going to extend our legs. Let the feet roll out into the corners of our mat. Closing your eyes, resting shoulders, upper back, slowly releasing so that even lower back comes to rest on your mat. If your arms are at your side, those palms are facing up. Maybe you'd like to try one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen. And as we breathe in and out, you're able to feel the body going up and down. So whatever went on in your morning, let it go. Roll it off of your mat. And then when we're all done, you can choose whether you want to pick it all back up or just little pieces. But right now, next 30 minutes or so, it doesn't matter. Your breath is getting longer, deeper, still going in and out through the nose. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose and hold just at the top for a second. Open the mouth and let it go with a big sigh. And let's do that again. In through the nose, nice and deep, and hold. Open the mouth, exhale. One more time. In through the nose, deep, long, hold. Open the mouth, exhale, nice and long. And now through the nose, in and out, your pace. Just scan top to bottom through the body, releasing tension through the eyebrows, through the jaw, tongue off the top of your mouth, shoulders relaxed. Maybe you move those hands back down to the floor if they were on your chest and abdomen. Even checking through the glutes, sometimes we hold that area nice and tight, so just let it relax. And on your next inhale, stretch the arms up, point the toes in the opposite direction, nice and long inhale. And as we exhale, we bring those knees into the chest. Doing a little roll back and forth, massaging the lower back. Keeping your right knee in, arms are over the shin or behind your thigh. Extending the left leg, point both toes back towards your nose. You can hover that extended leg or take it down to the floor. Option to lift up the head, the shoulders, engage the core. Slowly bring it back down. Extended leg comes in, and we'll switch sides. So if you're hovering and you're lifting up head and shoulders, you're engaging the core a little more. Let's pull those toes back towards the nose. Roll back down, bring the knees in. So your choice here, you can do the roll over to one side, push up and come to a seated position, or if you want to do something new, we can do a little bit of a roll, a couple of times, and then come right up so that we're sitting. And then we're all going to flip over and then come on to table position. So spreading our fingers wide, wrists are under our shoulders, elbow creases pointing towards the front of the room. And I like to prop up on my toes. And we're going into our cow and our cat. So our cow, we sink the belly down, we open the chest, we inhale. And we exhale, and we arch through the back, upper back, lower back. Pull the abs up and towards the spine. Feel the stretch through the shoulders. Back down into cow, taking a big, deep inhale, open the chest. Point your tail up towards the ceiling. And now exhale into your cat. Really, really arch and stretch. And do 3 or 4 more cycles at the pace of your breathing. Always inhaling with your cow and exhaling with your cat. Waking up the spine, getting it nice and warm. Let's finish up your last one. And come to table, flat back. Taking those hands just a little bit further in front of you, getting ready to go into our first downward facing dog. And again, if you didn't hear the beginning of my class, I do have a support here with a block, and if you don't have a block, you might want to bring a chair close. We are going to do a balance pose that you might want to have some support to lean on. So, propping your toes, getting ready to push up into downward facing dog. Pedaling out those feet, warming up the back of the legs, sending those hips side to side. You can really exaggerate this if you want. You can totally bring those knees in and point them in the direction of the other side of your body. Whatever you need, that gives you a little more stretch on the outside of your waist, through the core there. And you're pressing, your head remains between your arms, your tail pointing up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to come to stillness. Enjoy that stretch. Up onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward to the top of your mat. You can walk or jump, some of you, to the top. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Breath or two here. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down, step back, left foot, right foot. Knees down, starting with a low plank, slowly lowering chaturanga, and coming up into a baby cobra. So not arching too far back. Let's let the back warm up first. Getting ready to tighten the core, push up through table, prop your toes, and then back into downward facing dog. Pedaling if you want, holding still. Coming up onto your toes, bend the knees, and make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Right into forward fold. Flat back. Hands down, stepping back. Taking it into next level with a high plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Choosing to go a little higher in your cobra or into upward facing dog if your back is feeling like it's warm. And pushing through table or right into downward facing dog. Steadying your right foot, lifting the left. Pointing the toe up to the ceiling. Bring the knee in towards your nose. Little hold here. Back up to the ceiling. Back in towards your nose. Up to the ceiling. And now on this one, we're going to pass through and bring that foot up. And going into a lunge. So your lunge can have your knee down on the ground. You can leave it propped up. Slowly make your way up. The wider your legs are, your feet are on your mat, the better it is for stabilizing your balance. So you might need to make some adjustments. Breathing through your lunge, feeling the legs getting a stretch. As you're also trying to bring those feet close together, front to back. And we're going to add a little bit of a twist to our lunge, so we bring our left hand onto our left hip and we start to bring our shoulders towards the left side of our body. You can leave your hands down, or you can choose to extend your arms. So a bit more of a challenge. Your choice. If your arms are out, let's bring them back down. Coming back to the front of your mat. Bring those hands down, and now stepping forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Let's do a swan dive down. Arms nice and wide. Inhale. Hands down, stepping back. High or low plank. Chaturanga. Bring it down. Maybe you are feeling even warmer now. Upward facing dog. Back into downward facing dog. And rest your left foot. Right foot raises up towards the ceiling. Bring that knee in towards the nose. Back up behind you. Into the nose with the knee. Last time back up. And this time passing through and bringing the foot to the top of your mat. Staying low, knee down on the ground or hovering. Coming into a lunge. Getting stable before we add the rotation. Pulling those feet in towards each other. Like you're trying to wrinkle your mat. Then we take our right hand, we put it on our right thigh. We start to rotate through the shoulders, through the upper body, through the core. You can have your hands resting on your hip and your thigh, or you can extend. A little more of a balance challenge with those arms lifted. Keep squeezing those legs. Breathe. Try to get a little soft through any areas where you might be holding tension. those arms back in to heart center, and then reach down to your mat and step forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Forward fold. We're just going to stay in forward fold just for a minute. Grab on to opposite elbows, bend those knees a little bit more, and let's press upper body onto our thighs. Trying to point your tail up towards the ceiling. You can just hang still. You can do a little rock side to side. Bring those hands back down onto your mat, into a flat back. And then exhale, hands down, stepping back. Your choice of flow. Keeping those arms close as you come down, maybe adding push-ups if you choose. And meeting back in downward facing dog. Right leg up. Bringing it forward, stepping through. Coming into high crescent lunge. Up a little higher on the ball of the back foot. Pressing the front thigh out a little bit towards the outer edge of your mat. Holding those arms nice and high. And we're going to inhale, prop up onto the back of our ball of our back foot, and then move into warrior two. So we have a heel to arch alignment with our feet. Our front thigh is still pressing out. Shoulders relaxed. Gaze is over our front fingers. Maybe getting a little deeper as long as you're not pressing that front knee over your toes. Flipping the front palm, exalting your warrior. Coming back through warrior two, bending your front elbow and going into side angle pose with an extension if you choose. Coming back into warrior two. Flipping the palm, exalting your warrior. Coming back into warrior two, and now this is where we're going to go into our half moon pose. So come out of your pose if you need to go get your prop. I'm going to move my back leg just a little closer. And if I am using a block, I'm just going to adjust it just slightly in front and to the side, the outside of my front foot. And I'm getting ready to put my weight onto my front leg while I lift my back leg. And I lose my balance a little bit. This is why we need support. And we start to lift the back leg, bring the toes towards nose. We're starting to open the whole side of our body. So if you're using a chair, your hand is on the seat of the chair. It's a stable chair. And now very carefully, we're going to bring the back leg back down and come to a standing position. Let's face the long edge of our mat. Let's keep our legs wide. And we're going to go into goddess squat. So our knees are tracking in the same direction as our toes, which are on an angle. And we're bringing our hips down while we're also trying to keep our chest up. Different options for the arms. Heart center, or maybe goddess arms. And as we do this, just be aware if you're starting to tip forward. If you find that you've got that forward lean, maybe come out of your squat a little bit so that you can keep that straight back. Feel those legs moving, and just be aware of the jaw. Relax. bring those hands to heart center. Let's come up. Let's turn the front foot. Step forward. Inhale. Swan dive down. Flat back. Hands down, stepping back. Your choice of flow. Maybe moving your block if you need to. Cobra, upward facing dog. Remember, child's pose is always there for you. Back into downward facing dog. Left leg up. And bring it forward, stepping between your hands. Getting ready to come up into crescent lunge. So your hands can stay at your hips. Reaching nice and high. If you're starting to feel warmer through the back, we can even do a slight arch in our crescent lunge. Come up onto the ball of the back foot. So press just a little higher. Again, trying to make a wrinkle in your mat, front to back. Squeeze those feet together. Pop up onto the back foot. Pivot so that it's now parallel with the short edge of your mat into our warrior two. Heel to arch alignment. Arms extended, shoulders soft. Gazing over your front fingers. Pressing the thigh of the front leg slightly out to the edge of the mat. Flip your front palm, exalt your warrior. Feel that beautiful stretch to the front of your body. Coming back into warrior two, and then right into side angle pose, so your elbow rests on your front thigh. Reaching up with your top arm. You can go to extended if it's in your practice. So we're trying to keep our shoulder pulling back. Coming back into warrior two. Make any adjustments you need to with those legs. Exalt your warrior. Back into warrior two. And now if you need to move a block or a chair, let's just make those adjustments before we try and go into our half moon pose. So from warrior two, I'm just going to bring my back leg in just slightly. I'm going to tip so that my hand rests on my block. I start to lift my back leg. Flex the toes back to my nose, and then I start to open, bringing my top shoulder so that my shoulders are stacked, my hips are stacked. Nice, strong move. Slowly coming back down with that back foot. Keeping your feet pointing towards the long edge of your mat, going into our second goddess pose. So it's a wide leg squat. Knees track in the same direction as your toes. Sinking down those hips to a point where you feel the work, but you're not starting to tip over with the shoulders. Again, arms can be hands at heart center. Can come out into goddess arms with bent elbows. Feel inner thighs working. Feel glutes working. Breathe. Try to soften through the upper body. Hands back to heart center. Slowly come out of that squat. Pointing the front toe to the top of your mat. And then taking a step so that we join feet. Inhale. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale down. Stepping back, this is our last flow. Or child's pose, whichever you choose. Maybe you're adding some push-ups. Back into downward facing dog. One last stretch of the tail, pointing up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to come back to knees on the ground. And we're slowly going to roll over so that we're in our seated position. Slowly rolling down, flat on the ground, knees are bent. We're going to bring up the feet so that the knees are at a 90-degree angle. Our hands go on our thighs. We're going to do a little bit of ab work here. So just a demonstration, I lift my head and shoulders. My hands are going to press against my thighs while my thighs press back against my hands. And we're just going to hold that resistance for a little bit. I'm not going to tell you how long. Okay, so we're going to get into position, start to raise up, and let's press. Hands against thighs, thighs against hands, not holding your breath. Feel the core working. You may be shaking a little bit. I know I am. Try to keep breathing. And slowly roll back down. Hug those legs in. Do a little side to side roll. Let's come back. Legs bent 90 degrees. Flex those toes back towards your nose. Hands on your thighs. Start to lift up head and shoulders and then press and press and press. Hands against thighs. Thighs against hands, core tight. Keep pressing. Don't hold your breath. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly roll back down. Hug in. That feels really good. Take your left foot down on the ground, right foot up towards the ceiling, and then cross, ankle over your left leg. Press the right thigh away from your upper body. So right here we can start to get a stretch. If you'd like to increase the stretch, you can pop up onto your back foot on the toe, or you can lift the entire figure 4 in towards your chest. You can bring your hands between the keyhole. Flex those toes back to your knees. Beautiful stretch in the right glutes. Slowly release that down. We're going to keep the left foot flat on the ground. And instead of just resting the ankle on our thigh, we're going to actually go into a crossed leg. So we're actually bringing the right leg over more. Going to extend our arms into a T position. And now we're slowly going to tip the legs over to the left. So we end up rolling onto our left butt cheeks, trying to keep our right shoulder still contacting the floor. You can even take a look over your right shoulder in the opposite direction of your legs. Bringing the head back first, slowly bring those legs back. Uncross your legs, take your feet wider than your knees, and let's do the windshield wiper. Come to center, bring those feet back in, rest the right foot on the ground, lift the left foot, cross it over your right thigh. Maybe your figure 4 stays here and you just do that press away from your body and get a stretch there. Or you choose to intensify, bring those toes back towards your nose. Feel the stretch in the left glutes. Slowly releasing. Right foot lands on the ground. Let's cross over even more with that left leg. Let's extend those arms again. Slowly tipping over to the right side and maybe looking over your left shoulder. Head comes back to center first, then slowly roll those legs back to center, uncross, feet wider than your knees, windshield wiper. Come to stillness, bring those knees in for a hug. Last move, happy baby. So our arms are between our knees, they go a little wider. Our feet as though they're going to walk on the ceiling. And our hands can be grabbing on shins, ankles, or outside of our feet. There's a little directional pull towards the floor. I don't like using the word pull, but it's not with a huge intent. And let's bring those knees in again for a hug. And extend your legs, feet rolling out, arms extended, palms up. Just a few breaths here. Final reflection on the 30 minutes you just dedicated to your physical and mental well-being. Slowly bring those knees in, rolling over onto your right side. Pushing up with your top arm, coming to seated position on your mat. Sitting up nice and tall, hands at heart center, gaze is soft. Thank you for joining me today, allowing me to dedicate 30 minutes to my mental and physical well-being, to share this time with you, and to feel like we're connected even though we're so very far apart. I really appreciate your support. Have a wonderful day. Namaste. Have a great day, everyone. Please check out the resilience programs that are also available. Also check in to the YouTube channel where you can replay these videos at any time. On behalf of all the instructors, we really appreciate your participation. Bye.